Good evening everyone, and welcome to another new video on the channel. As usual, please do remember to like, to comment and subscribe as we continue to develop this new YouTube channel. It is Wednesday the 11th of March, and today we've got a Northeast derby to look forward to in the Northern Premier League Division 1 East, as Redcar Athletic face Blyth Spartans at Green Lane. So let's head over without further ado to the Redcar seafront and see what on earth is going on. So here we are in Redcar, and coming into tonight's game, Redcar Athletic are top of the Northern Premier League Division 1 East, 11 points clear of second place Emley and with a game in hand, and Blyth Spartans are in 18th place. That's a considerable improvement for them in recent weeks. They've been in the relegation spots for most of the season, and they've pulled clear recently with 5 games unbeaten, including 4 wins. So they're very much the form team. In fact, in the last 5 games they've got identical records to us, 4 wins and a draw. So they bring a bit of form with them. So it promises to be an exciting Northeast derby. Of course, the very first game of the season was between these two sides. It was our inaugural match in the Northern Premier League, and we had a 4-1 win on that occasion. So let's head into the Hollou and see how it all pans out tonight. So here we are in the approach to the Hollou this evening. Sounds already pumping out from the fan zone. There's tonight's fixture confirmation. And there's Sammy's with the reserve crew tonight, because Borough are at home. Fan zone gearing up, already got some early punters. Nice and warm in here tonight. Green Lane all ready for tonight's match. So now it's time for our regular programme review, and because this fixture has been postponed a couple of times, the programme for tonight's game was originally for a match on the 10th of January when I was a year younger, because my birthday was on the 12th. Brian Taylor on the front cover, usual contents page. It's the same format as usual, folks. My column down the lane, which is way out of date, the gaffer's comments, match report on the 3-3 draw with Dunstan on Boxing Day, match report on the 4-0 away win at Bridlington on New Year's Day. Obviously these reports haven't appeared before. Pen pictures, all the facts and stats, which are, again, everything's out of date, obviously. History of Redcar. Today's opponents, Blyth Spartans, and their player profiles. Again, more league tables and stats which aren't up to date, and the teams on the back. So let's see how things are shaping up at the Hollou. 15 minutes, just under 15 minutes before kick-off. Sammy's burger van is doing a good trade. As you'd expect for a midweek game in March, there isn't anyone sat out in the booths tonight. Steelmen's bar obviously closed these days, just the fan zone open. Club shop doing a bit of business. There's Mr. Wilberforce in attendance. And tonight's lineup, there's actually quite a few changes from Saturday. Carl Jarrett not entirely happy with the performance at Lincoln, and so Brian Taylor comes into the side for his first game in several weeks. Also, Danny Lay drops to the bench after his sending off on Saturday. He starts that suspension this coming Saturday. And Owen Burns and Brad Fuster also come into the side. So very much a changed lineup. And in the fan zone, as the Spartans fans come out, we'll see what's going on. And still it's a good few people in. And Juno the doggy has now got her very own fan zone and her own sign. Look at that. Juno enjoying life. And the teams are coming out for tonight's game. Redcar Athletic, as usual, wearing their home kit of red and navy blue shirts and navy blue shorts. And Blyth Spartans in a change kit of all sky blue today. Of course, their normal traditional colours are green and white stripes. And the rain is coming down here at the Hollou, and there's also a bit of a wind blowing in, so as usual, apologies in advance for any video issues on commentary caused by the conditions. So we're underway here at the Hollou with Danny Rowe captaining the Steelmen for the very first time. And an early touch from the keeper Callum Dobson, only as far as Owen Burns. One back by the Steelmen, Burns. Plays the ball through the boys, and well saved by Dobson for the first corner of the game. So John Howard with the first corner for the Steelmen. Hooked clear, but it's going to be gathered by Howard. Howard crosses and held by Dobson. Brad Fuster on the left. Brian Taylor crosses into Fletcher, and a brilliant save by Dobson. Flipped over the bar. Great save by the Spartans keeper. So John Howard with the second Steelman corner of the match. Right start by the home side. That one is caught by the wind and goes straight out. With the throw to Rio May. Taylor out to Johnson. Johnson goes for goal and held by Dobson. Burns wins the ball back. Burns goes for goal. Blocked. Adam Poison wins the corner. John Howard with the latest Steelman corner. Playing into the area. And just about dealt with by the Spartans defence. Fletcher and held by Dobson. Spartans on the attack down the right, and fired wide. That's a golden opportunity for the visitors to take the lead, but it was spurned at the near post. A lovely ball out to Brian Taylor. Just can't quite pick out a Steelmen player. And one back by Oscar Fletcher. Fletcher crosses in, boys, and flicked over the bar. Fletcher almost threads the ball through, but not quite. Fuster goes for goal and just over. Boys to Louis Johnson. Johnson, and Johnson has the ball. Burns to Johnson. Johnson goes for goal, and again it lacks the power to trouble Dobson, and Redcar are not going to beat the competent Spartans keeper like that. Headed by boys, and again Johnson, along with all of the Steelmen players, just can't get the ball properly under control. And now Fletcher and Burns out to Guru. Owen Burns inside to Johnson, round the corner looking for Fletcher. And now the ball pinged forward by Rio Joyce for Blyth Spartans. And a corner to Spartans. So it was Jack Foley that won the corner, and it's going to be taken by Kyle Downey and dealt with comfortably by the Steelmen. We're already into added time at the end of the half here. You would assume that we're going to have a pop at goal here, and it's going to be Howard, and it's well held low down by Dobson. And Spartans go close, and that is going to be the final action of the half, and for the third half in a row the Steelmen draw a blank here at the Hollou Sports Stadium after a frustrating half, spoilt to a large degree by the windy conditions. It is, at the break, Redcar Athletic 0, Blyth Spartans 0. Half time then, Redcar Athletic 0, Blyth Spartans 0, and definitely the wind is playing a big part in the conditions tonight. But having said that, Redcar do have themselves to blame to a degree as well, because they're definitely not playing to the conditions. Shot selection on too many occasions has been poor, and on top of that, the final ball, there's been too many low balls against a very competent keeper. Recycling of the ball when shots could have been got away. And all in all, that's playing to a frustrating evening so far. And it has to be said that Blyth Spartans have also looked competent on the break as well. So it remains to be seen how the second half's going to pan out. Obviously, Redcar will be playing into the wind, which can sometimes be easier, but we'll see what happens in the second 45. We're back under the way here at the Hollou. Plays the ball down the left to Brad Fuster. Fuster threads it through to Johnson, and the linesman's flag is up. John Howard plays the ball out wide to Louis Johnson on the right. Boys, Johnson, and it's just over the bar. Joyce, and kept out by Masfari for another Blyth Spartans corner. So Downey with the latest corner for Spartans. And heading clear. Back to Downey. And hook clear. picked up, and the linesman is saying that the ball had gone out for another Spartans corner. The latest corner for Blyth Spartans, and the first one on the far side, and played into the middle and headed clear as the Steelmen look to counter and win a free kick. Johnson into Fletcher. Fletcher running forward with the ball, plays in Fuster. Fuster across goal and wins the corner, first corner and a half of the Steelmen. So Fuster with the Redcar corner. Played across, headed, and hooked clear. Oscar Fletcher plays the ball out to Louis Johnson on the right. Johnson, and it's in there! It's in there from Owen Burns. It's a superb flick finish. And Redcar finally get the breakthrough here at the Hollou Sports Stadium. It is 1-0 to Redcar. So Charlie Sterland with the Blyth Spartans free kick just inside the Redcar half. Diagonal ball across the face of goal and dealt with by the Steelmen defence, who win a free kick. Could concede another cheap free kick, and this time it's Kyle Downey who's on the ball for Spartans. And it's a looping diagonal ball and it's fired over the bar. Charlie Wood going forward for Blyth, and a couple of shouts for a penalty there, but the ref not interested. Dobson with the late free kick for Blyth Spartans as we've moved into injury time. Gathered by Nasfari. And the referee blows the final whistle here at the Hollou in a hard-fought north-east derby. Redcar Athletic have got the job done, and in their first season at Step 4, with that win tonight, they have secured a playoff place in the Northern Premier League in their very first season. It finishes here at the Hollou. Redcar Athletic 1, Blyth Spartans 0. So I'm joined by Carl Jarrett to pick the bones out of that one. A hard-fought win tonight, as we expected, from another North East derby.
Yeah, very hard. First and foremost, delighted with the 3 points in come late on. It was a very, very tough game in tough conditions, to be fair, for both teams. You know, they put up a good fight, Blyth, to be fair to them there. You know, they've been in good form, and we knew, you know, every time we play a North East team, they always give us trouble, you know, so we didn't expect any different tonight. And the game was scrappy at times in the first half, obviously with the wind and stuff, and we created a few chances which I thought we should have done better in the first half. We give them 2 chances, to be fair. I thought they should have done better with 2 of the chances that they had right in the half time, and maybe make it 1-0 to them. But we had a few words at half time, we've gone out, and the lads have put up a battling performance, put the ball in good areas which we spoke about. And the goals obviously come off Louis going down past his man, crossing it over, and Burns getting on the end of it, so delighted.
Now that win secures a playoff place. Now I know you've got your designs on more than that, but It's worth taking stock and saying that on our first season ever at Step 4, that in itself is quite an achievement.
Massive achievement for the club. You know, we were in the Northern League last year. It's hard to believe. We've been here 2 years. There's been a lot of work done since we've come into the club, and so it's a massive achievement. I didn't realise that, so that's excellent for obviously to get into the playoffs tonight. It's brilliant news. And
another tough home game coming up against Osset as we look to keep the promotion hunt on track.
Yeah, and support the lads there on the pitch as we're coming in. You know, it's another one ticked off. We've got to concentrate now. The next biggest game is obviously Osset. We've got to get our thoughts right on obviously selection. You know, good thing is we've got JJ back into the squad. I know we lose Danny Layth from suspension, so which is a shame because he's been doing really well of late. But I do believe JJ has been a miss as well with his energy. So we should have a strong enough squad. I have to assess Rio. He looks like he might have got a little knock there. That's why we brought him off half time. But Osset will be another test, another hard test to be fighting down there as well. You know, they won't come here and roll over, not like any teams, and I think it'll be pretty hard all the way right through the end. We've just got to concentrate on Saturday and try to get them 3 points again.
Enjoy your night, Carl. Cheers.
Thank you.
So it finishes Redcar Athletic 1, Blyth Spartans 0. And that is the sort of game that you have to win if you're going to win league titles, isn't it? A real battle, tough conditions, determined opposition in good form. Those are the matches where you need to grind out wins, and we managed to do it this evening with that excellent bit of improvisation from Owen Burns to secure the 3 points. And then I thought, to be fair, we saw the game out pretty well after that point. So that win does indeed secure a playoff spot. Now, those of you that want to be pedantic might look at the table and get your abacus out and say that Pontefract and Dunstan can still catch us. Well, yes, they can if both sides win all of their remaining fixtures 10-0 each match. And seeing as there's only been one match in the Northern Premier League East this season so far where a team has scored 10, and that was us in our victory against Silsden, the chances of two other teams both winning 8 remaining games 10-0, I think we can dismiss as wild hysteria. So Redcar have indeed secured a playoff spot with that win this evening. So now, obviously, the eyes are on a bigger prize as we count off the milestones to hopefully get over the line and win the league title. I think if we beat Osset on Saturday, it means that we cannot finish any lower than 3rd in the league table. And then, depending on other results, we will see a date arrive when we could potentially go on and win the title. I think the first occasion where it's at all possible, depending obviously on other results and other sides losing matches, but the first game in which at this moment in time it is still feasible for us to win the title would be a week on Saturday away at Bradford Park Avenue. But that would mean that we would have to keep winning, and both Emley and Matlock would need to lose this Saturday and also their midweek match. And again next Saturday as well. So all of that is pretty unlikely. So I think we can safely say that it's very unlikely, but there is a potential chance. And then there's 2 more realistic chances in home games coming up after that. Firstly against Matlock, which obviously beating them would take them out of the picture. And then if it's not secured by then, the following Saturday at home to Bishop Auckland would potentially provide another opportunity. But as I said, there are lots of variables in there, and we'll preview them in more detail as we approach each game. But until then, the next game definitely on this channel is this Saturday, the 14th, when Redcar Athletic take on Osset United in their latest bid for the title. As I always say, there's always a possibility of bonus matches. I know we haven't had many for you recently, but watch this space, you never know. But the next scheduled game this Saturday, Redcar Athletic v Ossett United. And until then, as I always say, really do appreciate you all watching Just a Sec TV.